Earlier this week, the Dragonflight announcement obviously showed off a lot of things to be excited about. Dragons, profession and talent rework, dragons, UI overhaul, dragons, and new zones. New beautiful vistas, of course, awesome art, and Tuskar. But there is one thing that we didn't get to hear all that much about. Valdrakken, the new hub city. Even with all the time we spend questing, in dungeons and raids, I don't think it's a stretch to say that the one singular place players collectively spend the most time in is the capital or hub city. Whether it's waiting for a queue to pop, getting lost looking for the flight master, or just part of the endgame I just logged in and don't know what to do loop, we will spend a lot of time in Valdrakken. So I, Ease, have taken it upon myself to use my personal experiences and excellent deduction skills, meaning I asked a question in my guild Discord, to compile a wish list of the 5 things everyone wants for the new hub city. Let's go! Number 1. Mounts. If there's one thing all WoW players enjoy aside from being top of the damage meters, it's going fast. Hunters don't have time to wait for the tank to pull, tanks don't have time to let the healers drink, and absolutely no one has time to walk all the way down to those weekly dungeon quests under the inn in Oribos. Seriously, as a Necrolord Shadow Priest, there is no way I'm spending all that time running down there each week. Now on my Nightfade Druid, that's a different story, but the point is we need mounts in our hub cities. Sure, it's fine to have small buildings for the NPCs to stand in that we have to walk into and get dismounted, but don't put all the profession trainers in a long corridor that I literally never can remember where the enchanting trainer is. If I could mount in here, it would be great, no problems at all. Remember Shrine of the Two Moons and Shrine of the Seven Stars in Mists of Pandaria? That place took ages to run through. I had to learn how to properly fly into it, so I got dismounted on the 2nd floor instead of having to run up the stairs. Don't do that to us again, Blizz. You're teaching us how to train our dragons, so please let us ride them in Valdrakken. Number 2. Portals. Look, I don't mind flight paths any more than the next guy, and I am genuinely excited to see how travel and traversal with Dragonriding will play out, but if the Shadowlands zones have taught me anything, it's these 2 things. First, flying through a cool swirly tunnel is really cool for the first 2 weeks, but gets old pretty quick after that. And second, zone-specific portals are amazing. There's just something about being able to port to one part of the map to complete that one world quest or kill that rare that you need, and then port right back to your hub. I might be a little greedy asking for zone portals when the entire expansion seems to be built around flying, but I'm not the only one who would enjoy it. That Discord question, remember? And it would ease up the loop for dailies 6 months into the expansion. It's not a make it or break it, but it would be nice. Let's move on. Number 3. Auction House. In the deep dive video, we were told that Valdrakken will have some convenience services for players, including an auction house. So consider this my official plea to not make it exclusive for engineers once again. I have never understood the reasoning for this choice in the first place. Sure, the theming for engineers is cool, but the convenience for all other players heavily outweighs that aesthetic. Running around looking for a longbow is only entertaining for so many months. Not to mention when you're just about to finish all your auctions and they run away. Please, auction house for all. Number 4. Something to do. Okay, so this one might be a little vague, but through my truly astonishing intuition, I have this feeling that everyone wants to have fun while playing WoW. And frankly, when all you do in a hub city is sit/run/fly around and wait, you're not having the most fun that you possibly could. So I want Valdrakken to feel alive, like there's something for me to do there. Have a few quest lines taking place in the city, maybe even dailies or world quests. I've heard people wanting a return of something like the Brawlers Guild, an event or minigame that isn't tied to player power that you can do while waiting for your guildies to get their act together and decide what key you're going to do. Maybe take some cues from the Darkmoon Fair and have a flying competition that you can do with your dragon. Now that I say that, that's actually something I really want. Just a quick, low-stake pod racing-esque dragon racing event. Okay, that might be a little much to ask for as a city pastime, but something like that. Keep Valdrakken alive and active. Let us do something instead of just running around in circles. Speaking of which, let's move on to number 5, circles. Look, I'm gonna be honest. The one make it or break it feature of a hub city is this. Is it circular? Does it have circles? Let's have a look through history. Stormwind was boxy, buildings had walls everywhere, and too many different districts. There's a reason most of the vanilla player base chose to hang out in Ironforge. Circles. Orgrimmar didn't have any circles per se, but there were enough open areas to make do. What can I say? We didn't know any different. Moving on to Shattrath. Oh, beautiful Shattrath. Circle upon circle upon circle upon circle. Everyone loved Shattrath. Circles. Next, we have Dalaran, the undisputed champion of hub cities. The circle continues. Side note, this is also a perfect example of letting us mount in a city and having the unmountable areas be small enough to not be annoying. Going back to point number 1. Next, for Cataclysm, we go back to Orgrimmar and Stormwind. They were redeemed in big part due to the fact that we now could fly there. No circles though, so no W for them. And we already touched on the shrines in Pandaria. More than just no mounts, no circles to really speak of. Anecdotally, it seemed to me that more players hung out in Orgrimmar and Stormwind rather than in the shrines themselves. Warlords had no hub city. Nope, no one ever spent any time in Ashran. We all collectively isolated in our garrisons for... let me see here. 2 years? I guess this explains why we took to quarantining so well. Legion brought back Dalaran, and there's only one thing to say. Circle. Arguably, BFA brought us one of the better hub cities in Borealis, at least aesthetically, and it doesn't really have any circles, except a bit of a half circle in the Tradewinds market. This might be the one flaw in my argument, but I think that Zuldasar with its groundbreaking traversal mechanics more than makes up for the Borealis exception. And finally, Oribos. As circular as Dalaran and Shattrath, if not more so, I think it will rank in the top 3 hub cities for most players. And if they had allowed mounts in the corridors and easier traversal to the other zones, I genuinely think it could be number 1. But my point stands even here. Circles. So far, we've only been given glimpses of Valdrakken, and it's hard to make out the shapes of it, also because it actually seems to be quite big and sprawling. So here's to hoping that we get circles to run in, maybe with some defining features to know if we're in the north or south side of the city without having to open the map. So, those are my 5 biggest wishes for Valdrakken. But please let me know, what did I miss or get wrong? What do you really want this new hub city to have? Do you have any specific aesthetics that you're hoping for, or are you insane enough to doubt my circle theory? Let me know in the comments. Hey, you just watched a Warcraft video with ease. Good on ya. Until next time, take care.